You're sitting in the boardroom of your dreams, closing $1 million deal when your phone lights up with a message that changes everything. Your own father telling you, you're no longer family. That's exactly what happened to me, and what I did next shocked everyone, including myself. I'm about to tell you how I discovered my family had been using me for years, how I found out about forged documents with my signature, and the moment I decided to fight back in a way that cost them millions. But first, let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and if you've ever had to choose between family loyalty and self-respect. Growing up in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods should have been a fairy tale, right? Wrong. Our mansion was picture perfect on the outside, but inside, it was all about keeping up appearances. My parents had this unspoken rule system that I could never quite crack. While my older brother got praised for everything, I was constantly reminded that nothing I did was ever quite good enough. You know that feeling when you win something amazing, but instead of celebrating with you, your family finds a way to make it about someone else? That was my entire childhood. I won a state writing competition at 12, and instead of being proud, my mother scheduled my hair appointment during the newspaper interview because the family needs to look appropriate. College applications came around, and I had my heart set on law school. My parents? They wanted me closer to home, closer to the family business. They never actually invited me to join. So I worked 3 jobs to pay my own way through school while listening to dinner conversations that treated my achievements like footnotes. After graduation, I moved to Chicago and built something real. A successful career, genuine friendships, and then I met someone incredible. A high school teacher who changed kids' lives every single day. When I brought him home for the first time, let's just say my parents made it crystal clear he wasn't suitable for their standards. But here's where it gets interesting. 3 years ago, my father called asking for a favor. The family business needed a loan, and they wanted me to co-sign. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Family helps family, right? Little did I know this was the only time my father had ever shown genuine appreciation for anything I'd accomplished, because my credit score could make him money. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago. My brother and his girlfriend announced they were expecting, and my parents threw this elaborate celebration dinner. I flew in specially for the occasion, thinking maybe, just maybe, this would be a moment we could all come together as a family. Instead, I discovered they'd been planning a family reunion for months. Everyone knew about it. Everyone had invitations. Everyone except me. They'd been telling relatives I was too busy with work to attend, when the truth was, they never planned to invite me at all. The breaking point came while I was in the most important meeting of my career, leading a billion-dollar merger that could make or break my path to partnership. My phone buzzed, and seeing my father's name, I glanced down, expecting maybe some family update. Instead, I read 14 words that changed everything. Don't come to the family reunion. We're cutting ties. This is what's best for the business. 14 words. After 34 years, that's how my father chose to end our relationship. Via text message. During my biggest professional moment. But here's what my father didn't expect. I didn't fall apart. I didn't beg. I typed back one single word. Understood. And then I made a decision that would cost them everything. Remember that loan I'd co-signed? The one where I'd guaranteed $1.5 million of their debt? I called my attorney that same day and started the process to remove my name from that agreement. If they wanted to cut ties, we were going to cut all ties. The legal process was simple, but the consequences were huge. The bank would require additional collateral within 30 days, or Wilson Properties would face serious financial trouble. I signed those papers without hesitation, and for the first time in years, I slept peacefully. The next morning, all hell broke loose. My phone exploded with calls, texts, and voicemails. My father's voice, usually so controlled, was shaking with fury. My mother, confused and panicked. My brother, trying to play peacekeeper. Even their accountant was calling, begging me to reconsider. By noon, my parents had actually flown to Chicago and showed up at my office, demanding to see me. Security had to escort them out when my father threatened to call my boss. But the real confrontation came the next day. My father requested a meeting at one of Chicago's most prestigious hotels. I agreed, but only for 45 minutes. I had real work to do. What happened in that meeting changed everything I thought I knew about my family. My father admitted that cutting me out wasn't just about image, it was calculated. They'd been planning this for years, waiting for the right moment when my lifestyle choices wouldn't hurt their social standing. But then my brother showed up unexpectedly, and that's when the real truth came out. Turns out, the original loan wasn't just about getting better interest rates. 3 years ago, Wilson Properties was in serious financial trouble. Cost overruns, permit issues, environmental problems. They were facing potential bankruptcy, and my guarantee was the only thing that saved them. My father had used me as a financial life preserver, while simultaneously treating me like a disappointment. But it gets worse. My brother had discovered something else. My signature appeared on 2 other loan documents, papers I'd never seen before in my life. My own father had forged my signature on multiple occasions, using my credit without my knowledge or consent. Sitting in that hotel lobby, watching my father's face when the forgery came to light, I realized something profound. This man who'd spent my entire life making me feel inadequate had been completely dependent on me to save his business. The irony was almost laughable. The daughter who never fit the mold was the one keeping the family empire afloat. My father stormed out, threatening legal action. My mother followed, confused and broken. But my brother stayed behind, and for the first time in our lives, we had an honest conversation. He told me he'd never agreed to cutting me out. He'd been as shocked as I was by that text message, and he was tired of the manipulation, the conditional love, the way our family operated on appearances instead of genuine connection. 3 months later, my life looks completely different. Wilson Properties found alternative financing, absorbing higher costs as the price of doing business without my credit backing them. My parents are separated, my mother finally seeing the man she'd been married to for what he really was. My brother and I are building a real relationship, one based on mutual respect instead of family hierarchy. My career has skyrocketed, and I'm being fast-tracked for partnership at my firm. But the biggest change? I'm engaged to that unsuitable teacher my parents dismissed. He proposed by the lake, telling me I'm the strongest, most brilliant person he's ever known. And you know what? I finally believe it. Looking back, that text message was the best thing that ever happened to me. It forced me to stop chasing approval from people who were never going to give it. It made me realize that family isn't about blood or last names. It's about love, respect, and support. Sometimes the hardest choices lead to the greatest freedom. Sometimes you have to lose a family to find yourself. And sometimes, standing up for yourself isn't selfish. It's the most necessary thing you can do. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to walk away from something familiar to discover who you really are? Have you ever realized that the approval you've been chasing isn't worth the price you're paying for it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt like you don't quite fit your family's expectations, hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with someone who might need to hear that their worth isn't determined by people who can't see it. Remember, you have the power to write your own story. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.